giants.
Máquinas voadoras antigas, seres alienígenas e gigantes. Estas são algumas das histórias relatadas nos meios de comunicação por soldados americanos que estiveram servindo durante a guerra do Afeganistão. Essas histórias falam de achados que são extraordinários, mas que são mantidos longe dos olhos da população. Steve Quayle e Gen 7 Productions fizeram um mini-doc sobre este evento, entrevistando um soldado que estava na equipe que encontrou um gigante em uma caverna no Afeganistão. Segundo ele, soldados americanos entraram em uma caverna e viram um ser que media entre 4 a 6 metros de altura e um peso estimado de 400 quilos. Um gigante de cabelos e barbas vermelhas e que, segundo relatos, era canibal. É dito também que ele tinha um cheiro horrível, como um homem que não havia tomado banho por mais ou menos uns 10 anos, diz o piloto e testemunha. Ele também usava lona ou pele ao redor dos seus pés, como se fosse uma espécie de calçado. A testemunha do evento ainda disse que o soldado americano foi espetado por esse gigante, enquanto que parecia haver um outro gigante acendendo fogo dentro de uma caverna. De acordo com a testemunha, o governo não divulgou esse encontro espetacular. Porém, uma equipe transportou a criatura para os Estados Unidos para que pudesse ser estudada. A mesma fora morta a tiros pelos soldados e levou cerca de 30 segundos para morrer após ser atingida na cabeça por vários disparos.
Steve, in your book True Legends, you talk about a Smithsonian cover-up whenever giant bones are involved. I want to ask you the question that everybody always asks. Where are all the giant bones?
It's interesting, Tim, because of the bias of the Smithsonian and their contempt for out-of-place artifacts. Every time giants were found, it didn't matter if it was on the West Coast, the Arctic, the Antarctic, believe it or not, the East Coast, the Ohio River mounds, they always have a fabulous cutoff point, meaning once the Smithsonian is notified and those bones are sent to the Smithsonian, they're never heard from again. And there's denials. A good example of that, it was a famous Kincaid expedition in the Grand Canyon, where they found the Egyptian citadel. Even the Phoenix Gazette carried that story. So, Tim, the cover-up has always been to keep this biblically relevant topic out of the minds of the people, so at an appropriate time in the future, they can claim whatever they want to claim, and they'll claim anything and everything apart from the true biblical origin of giants.
So, Steve, even during World War II, there were reports of giants and cannibalism coming out of the Solomon Islands. What was that all about?
After World War II, people couldn't reconcile the fact that a lot of servicemen, U.S. servicemen, had been eaten, cannibalized, as well as Japanese. And the fascinating investigation I've come up with was the fact that the Solomon Islands are riddled with stories of cannibalistic giants and even living giants to this day. I was contacted by a man named Marius who was literally going to meet me in California with, let's just say this, irrefutable evidence. But he said to me on the phone, he said, Steve, I'm being followed, and I'm not sure I'll even make it there alive. What has to be asked, the question that needs to be asked and has to be asked, is that why do people who have the evidence, why are they intimidated? Why are they threatened? Why are they disappeared? What is this cover-up? And I'll tell you the bottom line. They do not want people to understand that the sons of God, the fallen angels, saw that the daughters of earth were fair, mated with them, and produced a literally new race of hybrid beings that the Bible calls the Rephaim. And the Rephaim are with us today. They're genetic traits, they're genetic markers. And when we get into super soldiers, Tim, the super soldiers, the most important expenditures made are to identify not only the bloodline, but the genetic traits. There are people literally not only wanting to bring the giants back, but to insert giant genes in our soldiers to give them the super soldier ability. More money is being spent to identify genetic traces and markers, the actual gene prints of giants, both dead and extractable DNA from their teeth, from whatever cells in the mummies, to literally living giants today.
So, in other words, what you're saying is somebody's trying to weaponize giant genes.
Absolutely. And the super soldier program is probably one of the most almost unbelievable, yet so believable programs that the U.S. military is involved in. And all the underground labs, all the secret places around the planet, everybody's after the same thing. They want comic book heroes that we would only laugh about and have laughed about maybe for 50 years. And now it's no longer fantasy, it's fact.
And we're not just talking about superhuman strength, are we? We're also talking about superhuman cerebral capabilities that the giants had.
Absolutely. Speaking of cerebral capabilities, the giants, even when they're in a stasis state, that means in suspended animation, whether it's Dr. Ernest Muldashev in Russia, in the mountains of Tibet, whether it's a whole underground base in which some of these entities, these living giants, are present, they have so much cerebral energy that they actually have what's called the red line, and you can't go past that, or literally, they claim, according to special operations, 4-star generals, that literally it causes a person to almost come apart at the seams. It not only drives people mad, but it literally just causes them to go to pieces. You understand that's the ultimate weapon. You know, Michael Crichton with Jurassic Park brought us dinosaurs, and now we're hearing about woolly mammoths being cloned, and we're hearing all these news stories that Neanderthal is no longer a member of our family tree, which I've said for 30 years. But the point being is that it's all about weapons. And as a general said to me in special operations, it doesn't matter if it's ancient technology, doesn't matter if it's ancient genetics, those of us are either fighting to keep it out of the hands of the wrong people, or the wrong people are fighting us to kill us to get it into their hands. There's a war going on, and it's no longer just dusty old bones in a museum stuck away.
So, Steve, according to Genesis 6, fallen angels had sexual relations.